Hey, it's me, Chocobo, and welcome to my loot from 200 crystal Implings. If you're wondering what a crystal Impling is, they are an Impling that is exclusive to Prifddinas, and you need 80 hunter to catch them, so I think they're pretty rare. Much like lucky Implings, crystal Implings are untradable, meaning you will have to capture them yourself to unlock them. Last but not least, they actually have a unique item which is known as the Elven Signet, which is a crystal ring. The Elven Signet can be called the crystal ring essentially because it saves crystal charges on your tools and armor. Right now it's not that big a deal because not very many people are utilizing the new gear. However, maybe in the future when tools are more accessible to the average player, these might be very useful when skilling. So I went ahead and got 100 on my Iron Man, and Kate also collected 100, which took a total of about 16 hours. Something that was a little bit unexpected is the Elven Signet is actually in the collection log under the miscellaneous tab. So if you are going for collection log completion, you will end up having to catch these. I actually developed a method on the most efficient way to go about catching them in all of their different spawns that I have managed to discover. I can make a guide on that soon if you guys would like that. I'll ask you to leave a comment down below if you are interested in maybe knowing how to catch these. Just talking about the loot a little bit, I think the best absolute drop you can get besides the Signet are the plethora of Ranarr seeds that you will acquire. Pretty sure from just one Impling, one time I looted 8 total Ranarr seeds. In my opinion, this is by far the best way to get Ranarr seeds, and Ironman preparing for Cerberus, this is something you should probably consider doing. Also, for main accounts, this is a reasonable money-making method. I don't think it's as good as Zulrah and Vorkath, however, it's pretty damn close, and especially if you're really good at it, I imagine you could push your limits to maybe competing with Zulrah, especially if you're a mid-level player. Another under-the-radar drop are the Dragonstone amulets, which can actually be a little bit of a shortcut to getting a glory. Now, I don't know how many Ironmen would need to actually get a glory by the time they completed Song of the Elves, but you never know. The most annoying things about the crystal Implings is actually the fact that every time you Google it, it always comes up with RS3 rather than old school, even when you type in OSRS. I think that will probably change soon because more and more people will look it up, and then that page will get more traffic. But as of opening this, I could not even find a page on the drop tables. I'm very curious if there's another mega rare item that I'm not aware of yet, but as of doing this video, I think 200 Implings is pretty accurate in saying these are all of the drops that you can receive. A huge thank you again to Kate for actually recording all 100 Implings that she went ahead and caught and opened. I really appreciate that. This definitely took super long, and I'm really glad that you were able to go ahead and do that and share all of your findings and go ahead and compare with my 100. Also, a huge congratulations to her on winning the old school video competition for the Song of the Elves, which is really freaking awesome. Last but not least, she actually discovered 2 different spawn points for these Implings, which was a massive help in speeding up the collection process. Something I was unaware of are these Implings actually drop elite clue scrolls, and I managed to get one on Mini Chocobo. I think that this was the most fun activity I've done from a brand new update in a very long time. That's including comparing raids 1 and raids 2. It was just very unique, and I really love how these jars aren't tradable, so it's really more of an enjoyment to collect a ton of them and then open them all at once. I hope one day maybe they do this with lucky Implings and have like a little area kind of like Pearl where they're actually a little bit more common. You can find one maybe every 10 minutes or so, and that way you have the enjoyment of hunting it. Even though your chance of getting loot is likely very slim, it still would be a very enjoyable thing to go ahead and collect like a couple hundred at a time. While calling this a skilling method would be relatively debatable, I still do think it's pretty cool that I'm able to utilize a skill in RuneScape to make a reasonable amount of GP. It's very nice and feels like the old game when I'm able to do that, rather than having to kill the Prophet Snake and or Vorkath and raids, or the Gauntlet I guess now, to go ahead and make that kind of reasonable money per hour. Although to call this a skilling method is relatively debatable because in total between the two of us we only got 56k hunter XP. Another notable drop are the baby dragon bones. In total I would have gotten over 100,000 EXP in prayer, which is pretty insane. And as for reactions, I would say this one is one of the least amount of energy that I've ever had, but I was very tired. Oh, I actually got the ring. And it was pretty much me just repeating that statement over and over again, where it's like, oh, I actually got it. Oh my god, oh my god. But yeah, I was very happy to get this. I didn't know how much it was worth. There was no grand exchange data. I actually had Kate go ahead and buy one on the GE just to see how much it was. And at the time of actually opening it, it was only 3.5 mil, but who knows? Maybe it will be very useful for me as an Iron Man, especially whenever I do get the crystal stuff. I have been doing Volcano for the tools, and I feel like that's probably what this ring will be most useful for. So can never complain about checking off something in the collection log for sure. As for the Prifddinas update as a whole, I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I actually am very glad that there are so many different activities that people are able to participate in, and there's still some room for maybe some expansions to it in the future. Please leave me some comments about what you thought about the update and maybe some things they should have added that they can potentially add in the future, and or things that you really dislike that they need to change right away. Something I also didn't mention is I actually have my name on the front page of RuneScape, which is the first time that's ever happened for me. Unfortunately, we didn't win any of the awards of the video making competition. Looking back at my video, it was a little bit dry and stale. I was very proud of the work that I made, even if it wasn't the most enjoyable thing to watch. Maybe I should have entered the lore competition though, because I think I would have done a little bit better in that. It was my first time entering a competition like this, and I would say that even though I didn't win, it's still a very memorable experience to say the least, and it will not discourage me from entering the future ones. Now, taking a look at the Elven Signet that I did get on my Hardcore Iron Man, I know it has 0 in everything, however maybe it will be worth using because the crystal armor is pretty expensive to use, slash I think you need all of the crystal shards, so maybe it would be worth it. I don't know, I'll have to wait and see what people decide. As of right now though, I don't think so. If you've made it this far into the video, I have a challenge for you. If you go back and rewatch Kate's The Story So Far RuneScape competition video, I'll go ahead and throw a bond to the first person who's able to list exactly every character that I voiced in that video. I wish you the best. Make sure you leave your username in the description if you do plan on entering this, because I would rather not somebody win and then I can't actually contact them. And now is where I come to the realization that my account probably isn't worth 2 dragon longswords, a dragon mace, and 2 freaking rune plate skirts. I tallied up all of the different loot from both different accounts and bought everything on my main account, and we'll do a final price check of 200 crystal implings. The price check comes out to be 12.7 mil. However, I know this ring is worth around 3 mil, so I'll probably get a total of around 14 or 15 mil. Now let's go ahead and quickly sell everything off. The only thing I will try not to sell for too low, of course, will be the ring, because I know it's a new item and there might not be very many offers in, so although I know I could put most of these items for 1 GP and I'll get relatively decent prices back, the ring could be very risky to do that for. Also, do keep in mind, since I am instant selling everything, I probably could get a little bit more GP, but for the sake of this video, I just want to quickly sell everything off. Fast forwarding a bit, I wanted to go ahead and show exactly what the ring sold for. I thought it might sell for around 3 mil, and lo and behold, it actually did sell for exactly 3 mil, so not too shabby as a reward from just randomly catching an Impling. And from just the Impling loot, I got a total of 14.24 million. However, I still had to sell off all of the elite clue items. Without any uniques, you can't really expect much from elite clues, and honestly, getting 318k from a single elite clue is actually really good. That's around what you should get from a master. And skipping forward just a tad, we will see that my total cash pile came out to be 14.56 million GP. I'm really glad that Jagex is starting to realize that a lot of people actually play to the collection log, and I hope they keep adding more and more items like the Mask of Renewal and these crystal items, which are actually achievable. They're not insanely rare, but do take some time to get. And I hope that one day they add an official point system to the collection log to maybe unlock milestone rewards for having a certain number of items checked off the list. If you are one of the many people who has told me they've kind of burned out of RuneScape and they're looking for motivation to play, I strongly urge you to try doing the collection log rather than just trying to do the classic grinding for max PVM gear or grinding to max all of the skills. I think that this is definitely the proper way to play RuneScape. I know that it's not efficient necessarily, but it's still a lot of fun. A huge thank you to watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you again with some new update videos, as well as a brand new series which will be starting next week. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, I would very much appreciate it if you could. I'm getting closer and closer towards 10,000 subscribers. I just have a little bit over, I think 1,500 to go, which is pretty damn close considering a couple months ago I was only had 1,500 total subscribers. If you still haven't thought of a comment, maybe go ahead and recommend some type of content that I should do in Prifddinas to make a whole video on. I know a lot of people are doing the Gauntlet, so I'm trying to do all of the other things. I do plan on doing Gauntlet on my Hardcore Iron Man though, and that will be a lot of fun, but I need to make sure I'm prepared for it. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.